This hair right here just wants to get in the way. Good morning, good morning. So, today's interview is going to be with Megan, and I wanted to share because Megan joined this Facebook community over a year ago, and I wanted to have the opportunity to share her journey as I have watched her journey. Finding good morning.
Hi.
And by watching her journey, I've just been impressed. And I thought this is a really great interview to do to talk about her journey, where she's gone, because each one of us, it's our own separate journey of finding our way. And so, Megan, hi, good morning.
Hi.
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 Real quick, why don't you just introduce yourself, briefly tell us about who you are, maybe where you're from, and then I have lots of good questions to ask.
Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on here. This is so fun.
Yay.
Um, my name's Megan Tinajero. I am from the Midwest, Kansas City, Missouri area, and I am a developing medium. I've been working on it for 2.5 years now, and I'm really excited to see where it takes me. Yeah, it's so fun.
Awesome. So tell me, when did you first realize that maybe you had, beyond our five physical senses, right? Beyond I can smell and see and touch and feel, like maybe had some abilities. And when did that start for you? When did you think, oh, not everybody does that, or not everybody has that, or has developed
Yeah, yeah.
that?
So I think everyone's different, first of all. I think
Right.
everyone's different. And I think I was one of those people. I don't know if you've heard this, but I had an experience when I was younger, and I think it scared me. And so my gifts, I believe, were dormant for a long time. And so I had my what you would call a spiritual awakening in 2021, and that was more of like a shift in consciousness. It was opening my mind to the possibility that things could exist beyond our senses, right?
Yes.
And so then I just started playing with it, and I'm still kind of playing with it, and all I know to be true now is that something is responding to my thoughts. That's it. That's all I know
Right.
is, so it's a big mystery, and I love that. And I've been working on it. I think it took me a year to really accept that I could do it. I could do things that other people, couldn't. And then the second year was like exploring it more and seeing if I could get future information or intuitive information and expanding on that.
Right.
So,
So I'm going to tell you, for me, I I had an experience as a child. I was probably about 4 years old, and I saw what I would describe as one of my angels or guides, angelic. And it's so funny because everybody says, well, not everybody says. That's that's a broad statement. It is depicted in much of our artwork, right, through the Renaissance period and periods, that they are these human-looking beings with these wings. And to me, it only had a face and glowing, but then it was just like energy, like energy exuding from its presence. From, like, didn't have, like, it just was energy. I don't know how to describe it, but I knew it to be. I felt safe. I felt okay. It didn't frighten me. I felt totally calm with it, and and so I was okay with that. And I always felt like, oh, I really get other people's feelings. Like, I really understand people. I kind of know what they're thinking, or I know what they're feeling, or I physically sometimes would feel things. And I was like, that's not mine. And I didn't really understand it. And then as you kind of go down this path and journey, and I was like you, my my consciousness kind of shift a little to be more open to other things. And I realized, oh, it's not only the things I always say, oh, I'm just kind of clairsentient, that's it. And then it became, no, I smell things, I know things. And it's not like mediumship is not like you're hearing a man's voice in your head. I'm hearing my own voice, but it's not my words or thoughts. Like, it's not my thoughts. And there's even times, and I'll tell you, I do a good night blessing Reiki session on a Sunday night on TikTok. And at the end of this last Sunday session, I will tell you, I was completely channeling a message. Those were not even, like, I don't even remember what I said, except for I know it was powerful. It was such a message of just love and acceptance that everybody in that space, and I'll call it a room on that live, needed to hear. And I want to go back and watch it now because I kind of want to experience it for me, because it started off being my message, but then it became this total channeled message. And so tell me, for you, like, and in the beginning for me, and I don't do like mediumship as you do mediumship, in the fact that everybody has their own way of doing it, right? It's their own, just like there's different languages, there's
Mm-hmm.
different ways of communicating. We all have our own way of doing it. And it's not something that I feel like I'm on this path of mediumship and people can book a reading with me type of thing. It's something for me that I know I have that ability. And when it comes through, it comes through. It's come through on coaching clients, it's come through in Reiki sessions. Um, it's come through on a live before for me. And, but I accept it. But before, I think I kind of just wouldn't really accept that or take that in. And then there's the trusting of it. Like you said, the first year, like you don't
That's
trust it, like,
huge.
right? And when my father died 3 years ago, I had a reading from somebody here on TikTok, a private reading with her, and it was so spot on in so many ways. And she's like, there are so many people here right now, like, here to meet you. And she's like, I'm so confused, like how many dads do you have? And I'm like, well, there's my dad who adopted me, and there's my biological dad, and my biological mom's husband, who's like my stepdad who just died. And like, she was just like,
Dads.
oh my gosh. She's like, what
Yeah.
is going on? But at one point during that reading, she said to me, something about a blue car. And I'm like, I don't know about a blue car. I have no idea. But I was like, whatever. Like, I wasn't thinking like she doesn't know what she's talking about. I was just like, I don't know. And maybe I'll figure it out later.
Right.
3 months later, my aunt says, can you come up here and get your mom's car? My bio mom had her original VW. I never got to meet her, but her husband always said, I want you to have that car. So when he passed, he had left me that car and other things. Like, this is my mom's wedding ring, left me other things. So my husband goes up to bring it down. It's blue. It's a blue
Ha.
car.
Ha.
So I watched your TikTok the other day. I'm sorry, I'm getting all ahead of myself of all the questions and things I want to talk about with you. But the other day you did a really great TikTok where you're like, I had a couple of readings today and they weren't so great. And I feel like it didn't like hit. But what I want to say is, even if it doesn't hit in that moment, if it doesn't click in that moment, I learned really early on, like one time I did a reading for somebody, and right away I went to say, I hope that resonates. And like, I immediately heard, don't ever say that again. The message is the message. You are the conduit of the message. It is not to say whether or not it's going to hit, it's going to resonate. Don't ever ask, I hope that resonates. Like, literally, my guides were like, no, we are
Hmm.
not, don't ever say that again. They're like, no, you don't, it's not for you to ask them that. Like, the message is the message, whether they understand it in this moment and this time or at a later time. And so when I had that message from her and the blue card didn't, I'm like, oh, whatever. So that's one thing, but everything else, like, she was spot on. I never really got hung up on the blue card. But then later, when I got the blue card, trust me, I was like, Jen, I just got a blue car. And I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
and I always bring that up. So for you, when I love, first of all, your honesty, right? That you come
Thank
out
you.
and you say, like, I did a couple of readings and I feel like it didn't really resonate, or it didn't really kind of connect with them in that moment. But I want to say to you in response to that, but maybe that message is for them. It's just not, they're not going to see it, or it's not going to have meaning for them until 2 months down the road, 6 months down the road. They're going to be like, that's what she meant.
Hmm. Divine timing. Yeah, I
Right.
think you're right.
Right.
Yeah, I
So
think
what
you're
do you
right
think?
about that.
What do you think is your? I always said I'm clairsentient. I'm just a little clairsentient. That was me. That was me 2 years, 3 years ago. I'm like a little clairsentient. That's all.
Just a little
Um,
bit.
and and understanding we all have these abilities. We just haven't honed in on them, right?
Right, exactly.
And some are going to be stronger than others. Some people don't have a great sense of smell. Some people don't have great vision, right? Some people get neuropathy and they don't feel things as well. Whatever it may be, it's the same in our clair abilities. It's these are the other senses that I think as children we're so open to, and as adults we've shut it all down. So then when it reopens sometimes, or we step into it, we think, we play it down. I'm like, oh, a little clairsentient. So tell me about you and what you think your strongest clair is, and how you said, like, tell me more about this journey of like discovering these abilities, and how you've
Yeah.
learned to grow in them, and how you've practiced them. How did that start?
Okay. So, well, what's so funny is it started on TikTok. And it started by watching you and Juliana Whitlow and Ricky and Salome. Am I pronouncing that right? Salome?
Salome.
Salome, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Salome. Um, and I had an experience where I had this ball. I'll just tell a quick story. I had this ball of anxiety in my gut, and I was watching the TikToks, and I put that in the comment. I said, I have this ball of anxiety, and Ricky was in there, and I swear to God, he took it away. He took it, it was gone like that. And I was like, whoa, how could that be? And if that's real, then what
What
else is
else
real, right?
is real?
Like my inner child had a heyday there for a minute, and we went down multiple rabbit holes. And I think I've been picking and choosing what I want to put in my new bag of beliefs. I
Right.
think that's because I grew up religious, and I went away from that because I didn't agree with like some of the things, and then this has been like rediscovering God on my own terms.
Yes.
It's
I
more
kind of I
personal.
look I look at it as like, if you look at your belief system, I was also raised like in the church, very religious. It's like this brick building, and it's like you demolish it. You take all the bricks down, and then you say, this brick
Yes,
I totally resonate with.
yes,
Like Jesus and unconditional love, love that. This brick of guilt, bye. This brick of shame, I'm smashing
fear.
it. Like
Hmm.
it's going to become the sand that's going to like blow away in the wind. Like the guilt, the shame, the fear, all these pieces, I'm not, I'm letting go. This
Right.
whole, I'm going to be judged, and I'm going to be judged, and I might be sent to hell forever. Like hell is the existence you choose to live in on this plane, right?
Thank
So
you.
so
Hmm.
so I hear that, and so I had to choose the bricks I wanted. So I love how you said, what are you gonna put in your bag and take with you. I really like that. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry I interrupted. Continue. Your
So,
What do you feel was
so
your
yeah.
strongest abilities when you first started?
So what's funny or coincidental is I grew up with a lot of hearing problems,
Oh,
and I would get earache after earache after earache. But I do believe that my two strongest are clairvoyance and clairaudience. And clairvoyance, I'm also a daydreamer. I know a lot of people don't see anything in their mind's eye, but I have a very vivid imagination. And so I get a lot of clear descriptions of people too. And then I hear things a lot, which I think is funny. I think it's funny that a lot of what we perceive as weaknesses could turn out to be our strengths. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it started on TikTok, and I just started consuming all kinds of different things. And then a couple of months after my spiritual awakening, where I was like on TikTok and reading on CIA.gov, I was really like going down the rabbit holes. There was something about the government just laying it out there in black and white about aliens and transcendental meditation and out of body experiences. I was just like, whoa. And those were released for reading in like the 90s. So I did go through that too, that, oh my gosh, I could have known this whole time. But again, divine timing. Everything happens when it's supposed
Yes.
to.
Timing.
And so I had achieved, the career and the marriage, and I had kids, and I had, I'm still here at my job actually now, but I was walking in every morning and I was like, is this it? Like, I achieved all the societal expectations, right?
Right.
And I was like, oh God, I have to do this for 30 more years. I can't do this for 30 more years. And something or someone was listening, because 2 months later, my friend invited me to this workshop. And she didn't tell me what it was. She just said it was $15, cheap enough to just, go and see what it was all about. Well, she ended up bailing on me the night of, and I went by myself. Turns out it was a mediumship workshop, and I have been going ever since. And that's kind of how I've been practicing my skills. It's how I've met a lot of people, and I trained under a really I wouldn't say famous, but a locally famous medium, Jamie Collins, here in Kansas City.
Nice.
So it was like the universe was like, here you go,
Here you
here's what
go.
you've been looking for.
Literally. Here's what you're looking for, and we're giving it to you. And then also the thin line, this group we're on today, you offered readings on here as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a great space. I want people to understand, like, this is a space not just for me to tell you all my events coming up, and this is a space for you guys to use and utilize. Maybe you don't have 1,000 followers on TikTok to go live, but or you just want to try out you don't want to be out there saying, hey, I'm a full-fledged medium, because you're still figuring that out. Then offer readings on here or read cards on here. And I just want to encourage people, use this space to offer that. And I mean, when I went to message you about doing this interview, I was going back and looking like how far back our messages go, and you doing a reading for me. And I don't know, it's just, I think it's really cool to see your journey of where you stepped out into, like, testing the waters on this, and now you're doing this, like, you are a medium. And when did that shift happen where you started to trust, like, I
Oh,
can do this?
well, okay. Well, it took time. But also I took a course with Juliana Whitlow, the surrender course. I think that was a year ago. And she really helped me kind of let go. Obviously, I'm still working on it. I'm still working on, right now I'm really focusing on getting a deeper blend with my spirit communicators, and just like fully surrendering my body and everything to become a channel, like you were saying. And it's hard, it's a work in progress, but I think anything you devote time to, and your intentions are powerful, and if you keep working at it, I'm sure I'll be, an amazing medium in a couple of years, because if I keep going, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it is about playing with it. It's about testing it. It's about, well, can I do it on my lunch break? Can I do it in the morning? Can I do it after, I've been hanging out with friends? I've done it over Facebook Messenger. I've done it over, looking at a picture and then getting information from that. So it's just been fun. It's been fun. And I think it just, the more I go along, it's going to get better and better. And there will build more and more trust in myself and my abilities and what I'm getting, you know?
It's so interesting. By the way, yes, Jasmine, I got a haircut. I want to read a few comments real quick because they're flying by, and I've missed a few, and I want to mention them. Fran says, let me see if I can make this get bigger. I'm on my phone. There we go. Fran says, I have more of a feeling or gentle nudge to speak or share with someone. Always felt it was my intuition. Is that what you mean by tune into your clairs? Yes. Here's the thing. If you have a thought that comes through and you know it's not your thought, that can be a message that's coming through. I was getting a massage a couple months ago, and the word cherries kept coming in my head over and over and over. And I regret I never said anything. I really wanted to say to the girl, does the word cherry or cherries, does that mean something to you? Because and now I feel like, oh, I'm like, I don't want to be this Long Island medium person who's like going around in public telling people messages. But I felt this word cherry so strong, and I have a slight regret that I never said to her, "Does cherries mean anything to you?" But yes,
Well,
it's
you
like,
never know how it's going to be received, you know?
right. That's also it. That's
Yeah.
also it too. But you have to just be fearless, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. There's
Britt
a
says,
reason why they're trying to get through to you, you
right,
know?
right.
Hmm.
I'm working on my intuition and my clairs. I love that, Britt. Um, yes, I got a haircut. Thank you. Divine timing is always right. I also want to say, um, Juliana was doing a TikTok live and giving a reading to a woman. And Jules is very visual. She sees things. So she's like, I'm seeing this house in this room, and she's describing the room. And it was this person's, like, I don't remember now, mother or father. But all of a sudden, I started smelling roses, and roses are like a sign of I love you. And like, I was getting messages, and then the messages I was getting through a different, not through a visual, but like, I'm like,
Through
it's
a
her
different
mom
man.
and this, and then Jules was saying it, but Jules didn't even see, and like, that affirmed to me, that was like a confirmation to me, like, hello, Debbie, you're doing this. And I was like, what? And then I had a client one time, and I literally, this is so weird, and this has happened a few times. Visually for me, the whole, my all my visuals go from saturated to very gray, like a blue gray. Like I'm seeing everything, and the saturation is turned off, and my world visually kind of goes gray, and I don't see it physically in front of me, but I am like, I saw a man, I saw the suit he was wearing, I saw the hat he was wearing. He took the hat off, he put it on his desk. Like, I see little vignettes of things in my mind's eye. And when I was all done, kind of getting the messages from him, then all of a sudden, slowly, the world came back into color. And that has happened to me a few times. It's happened to me while I'm live on TikTok in a Morning Intentions.
Wow.
And it's like there's a message coming through for somebody at that time. And so that's happened to me a few times. And that's like a huge signal to me. Like, it's almost like they talk about the veil or the thin line or the veil. Literally, things would kind of mute out for me. But other times I've smelled things. Um, I get a visual in my mind. Sometimes, like, I have a lot of card decks. I have a lot of oracle decks, a few tarot decks. Sometimes they'll show me a card, and
Oh.
it's the meaning in the card that is the message, because
Hmm.
it's not like the conversation you and I are having. Spirit isn't
Right.
saying, oh, by God, by golly, tell them hello and that I miss them, and I was
Right.
there when they got their new puppy. It's not like that. It's like you're getting like hieroglyphic messages, and you have to put the whole story together, right?
Exactly.
And
That's
yeah,
exactly. Hmm.
and so, but there is this piece of trust, and I think my first glimpse into thinking I even had any mediumship abilities was that day when I got all the messages, and Jules was speaking them after I got them, and I was like, it was like confirmation, like
Yep.
confirmation, Deb. Um, Maddie is saying, Judy is saying, is Maddie. Not only did I see the world gray out, I have that live. I downloaded that TikTok live, and on my live, on the video, everything went gray in the video, and then the color came back in the video. It was
No way.
color. I'm not kidding. It was color, and then it kind of grayed out. The whole video grayed out for a few minutes, and then the video came back to color. And it was at the time, and I was like, because I told Maddie after I had the strangest thing, everything went gray. She goes, no, it happened like on the TikTok, it happened for us to see it. And I was like,
That's
shut up.
wild.
So then I downloaded it and I was like, what is happening?
That's
Um,
so cool.
so yeah, it was cool. So let me ask, how can people, if people want to get a reading from you or do mediumship, how do you have a website? How do they reach out to you? How do they connect with you?
So I don't have a website yet. I'm actually working on that
Okay,
this year. But I have all of the social medias. So my business, I opened my business last year. It's called Healing Across Dimensions. And I have the Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. And if you want, just message me. And sometimes I like to do practice readings or give readings for free. I am charging now, but I'm keeping my prices low because I'm just getting started. So
great.
trying to build clientele and a good reputation um, here locally. I like to do things in person. Do you find that? I like in-person activities.
I do like in person, but I have so many people from all over the world that I work with from TikTok. I love that TikTok has opened up the world to me. Like I
Yeah.
have clients in Europe, in Africa, in Australia, in South America, like all over, all over. So I
Yeah,
love that.
that's so cool
I
about the
love that.
virtual aspect. Yeah.
Yes, like I feel I've never felt more worldly and connected to the world and like a citizen of the world.
So
And I do love that. So, can you, in the comment section when we get off of here in this video, will you please put like how to, just say hi to everybody. If you want to connect with me, message me here,
yeah, yeah.
and put your socials on so that we can all follow you and check it out. Thank you, Britt, for writing it in the comments. Healing
Thank
across
you.
dimensions. Thank you, thank you. And if you need help with your website, Luz is saying, remember her.
Oh,
Luz
okay.
is amazing.
Yeah, we
She
did that
helped.
course together.
She helped. Yeah, and she helped Jules with her website. So absolutely, if
Oh,
you need help, Jules used her, but I'm telling you, Luz is like the most multi-talented human being. But
she's amazing.
she is amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on today and being so open and sharing. And thank you for the readings you've given me. And I've loved your entire journey. I can't wait to see where it goes.
Thank
And
you. Thank you so
and
much.
I
Thanks
just
for having
appreciate you.
me.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, everybody who's here. If you watch this on the replay, just let us know you're watching on the replay. If you have questions for me or you have questions for Megan, let us know and we'll be happy to answer them. Okay?
All
Awesome.
right.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Bye-bye.
day. Bye.